From News 19, I'm meteorologist Daniel Bonds. No doubt you're going to hear a lot about tropical storm watches and warnings and hurricane watches and warnings over the next day or so. And we do have some of those across the United States and some of them even in South Carolina. At this point, we do have a tropical storm watch and a tropical storm warning for at least parts of the Palmetto State. But tropical storm watch, hurricane watch means it's time to prepare, usually issued about 48 hours from the potential impacts. Warnings, tropical storm warnings and hurricane warnings means the preparation should be done, usually issued about 36 hours before the potential impact. We've had a lot of activity in the tropics so far. 10 storms, 3 hurricanes, and 1 major hurricane. Our average at this point in August 29th, would be 6 and 2, so we are well above our average at this point. We do expect Idalia to make more headway and become another major hurricane, so it'll be our second major hurricane of the 2023 season. Here are all the tracks so far, a lot of activity, but the main thing we're watching right now is Hurricane Idalia. If it weren't for that, Franklin would be a big story. This is Hurricane Franklin, a major hurricane, Category 4 storm, does have winds of 130 miles per hour with gusts up to 160. It's going to continue to move generally towards the north and east. It's going to eventually lose some of its tropical characteristics as it does run into that colder water of the North Atlantic. Now, Franklin is going to produce high risk for rip currents, so if you are going to be along the coast, you certainly want to heed the advice of the local beach patrol because dangerous, life-threatening rip currents will be possible, maybe even into the Labor Day weekend. So again, just heed the local lifeguards' advice. We're watching this area as well. Medium or moderate chance of further development off the western African coast. And this is Tropical Depression number 11. It is expected to become a tropical storm as early as tomorrow morning. Now, Hurricane Idalia is the biggest story right now. This is the 11 a.m. advisory, has winds of 85 miles per hour, gust up to 105. It's moving towards the north at 14 miles per hour. Here is the latest from the National Hurricane Center, and no real great changes in the forecast. It's going to continue to move generally towards the northeast and then move into South Georgia and move along the coastal region of South Carolina. If you look ahead a little bit as we get into the weekend, there is some disagreement as to what it may do at that point. The spaghetti models show that same disagreement as the consensus kind of goes away. Pretty good consensus in the short term, and then as we get to the weekend, those models kind of go all over the place, hence that's why they're called spaghetti models. But here is the tropical wind forecast. Notice the hurricane winds impacting parts of Florida right in here, so we're going to be watching for a landfall tomorrow morning. It continues to move generally through South Georgia into the coastal region of South Carolina. It will weaken some as it interacts with land and then eventually makes its way out to sea. Here are the current watches and warnings for, notice, a large part of Florida now under this hurricane warning. A little bit closer to home, parts of South Carolina now under a tropical storm warning, and parts of the Midlands under a tropical storm watch. The southeastern part of Orangeburg underneath this tropical storm watch, and Clarendon County, also Georgetown, Horry counties, and Williamsburg counties have been added to the tropical storm watch. The warnings there in blue include Berkeley, Charleston, Dorchester, Colleton, Hampton, Beaufort, and Jasper counties. Also have the storm surge watch. Got a lot going on right now, and you notice that storm surge watch is from Charleston all the way down to the South Carolina-Georgia border. But that's not all. We also have the flood watch for a large portion of the Midlands and South Carolina, with the exception in the Midlands of Fairfield and Newberry counties, but we are expecting a lot of rain. Latest indications anywhere from 3 to 7 inches of rainfall tomorrow, with some of those areas maybe picking up a little bit more. So flooding, flash flooding, certainly looks like it could be a big issue. We're also going to be watching those winds, obviously in the areas that's underneath the tropical storm warning and that tropical storm watch. We'll be watching that as well. But here's a little bit of a closer look at the spaghetti models, tightly wound inside that cone of uncertainty. But as we mentioned, as we get to the weekend, they do kind of spread out just a touch. Here's our in-house forecast model showing the scattered showers and thunderstorms across the Midlands today. I mean, it feels tropical outside right now if you haven't been outdoors as of yet. We do have all that moisture that's going to continue to stream into our area. This is 10 o'clock Wednesday morning. Those showers starting to move in, some outer rain bands impacting parts of the Midlands. This is 3 o'clock Wednesday afternoon. Heavy rain now impacting at least parts of the Palmetto State. This is 9 o'clock. A lot of rain now impacting the area, and then continuing to see the rain into very early Thursday morning. By the time most of us wake up Thursday morning, it'll be out of here. We'll start to see some clearing, and those clouds should start to move on out. Should set us up for some pretty good weather, it looks like Thursday, Friday, and into the holiday weekend. Now, as far as the tropical storm force wind chance, the highest chance obviously is in that area where the tropical storm warning is in effect and the tropical storm watch. The farther you go north and west, the odds of tropical storm force winds do drop a little bit. So again, it looks like Clarendon County, Orangeburg County, at least the eastern half of Orangeburg County, that's where the greatest threat is at this point, where that tropical storm watch is in effect. So again, this is something we'll be kind of paying attention to. Here's a little bit of a closer look at the Palmetto State. Again, scattered showers and thunderstorms are expected for this afternoon. Could have some isolated areas that get a little bit of flooding, but the big story tomorrow is going to be the heavy downpours, the potential for flash flooding across the Midlands. So this is Wednesday morning, Wednesday afternoon. Notice that rain moving in, and you can kind of see the rotation here as at this point it should be a tropical storm. Tropical storm Idalia continues to make its way along the coastal region of South Carolina. This is midnight Thursday, still have that rain kind of impacting parts of the area. That rain moves out very early Thursday, and then as we've been mentioning, the weather does improve, it looks like Thursday afternoon and certainly Friday and into the weekend. Today across the Midlands, upper 80s to near 90 degrees with that chance for a few showers and storms. Weather Prediction Center is going anywhere from about 3 to 5 inches of rain. There will be areas that will probably get anywhere from maybe 3 to 7, with some areas getting a little bit more than that. So be prepared for some flash flooding. That's going to be the big story for us here across the Midlands. Excessive rainfall outlook, you notice right here in red, this is a moderate risk, a large part of the Palmetto State and the Midlands. And then even as we get into this yellow area, that's the slight risk for flash flooding. So again, a lot of rain. Also, we're going to be watching the potential for some severe weather. Obviously, when you get a tropical system that makes its way on land, a lot of times you have severe weather. You can have some tornadic activity. It'll be basically along and east of I-95. That's going to be the main threat area. So high winds possible, obviously the tropical storm force winds, and that risk for tornadic activity in the southern and eastern half of the Palmetto State. Not looking for any hail. You don't have hail for hurricanes. For today, showers and thunderstorms possible, heavy rainfall tomorrow, obviously flooding possible, breezy conditions, windy conditions in that area that's under the tropical storm watch. So this is what we're looking at for the next 7 days. Weather does improve, as we mentioned, upper 70s to near 80 degrees Thursday, Friday, low 80s. Labor Day weekend's looking great, highs in the mid 80s. Saturday, Sunday, upper 80s for your Labor Day. Coastal forecast, obviously that rain's going to kind of stick around Thursday, but heading to the beach over the weekend. Now the weather is going to cooperate, but once again, rip currents will be an issue along the coastal region. Upstate forecast, weekend's looking good. We'll have some showers and storms possible today and tomorrow. And then as we kind of look ahead, 8 to 14 day temperature outlook, September 5th through September 11th, warmer than normal conditions across the southeast. But we're going to continue to track Hurricane Idalia as it moves across the Gulf of Mexico and points towards Florida, making landfall tomorrow morning, it looks like.